Yes, right back at you. Right back at you. Get the Jay's Brain Chamber. This is connecting with the community. We got my brother Kill Bill. I want you to give us a little quick insight. He's a normally host, you know what I'm saying? He be on the show all the time.
How y'all
You know what I'm
doing?
saying? Y'all already know. Kill, give us a little something.
How y'all doing? I mean, it's Kill Bill. We tuned in at the Brain Chamber. We got a little insight what's going on for what's right now and for what's coming up. New mixtape dropping. I guess I'm gonna drop the surprise day. It's dropping on March 7th. That day mean a lot to me. For people that know me, so you know. But tune in, guys. I know what's going on.
Already. Y'all heard it from Kill Bill, and it's not the move. But I got my guy Charles, you know what I'm saying, community activist. He gonna give us an insight a little bit about himself. And we're gonna go on and go to the next individuals that's on here. You know what I'm saying? We got a normal guest. He already a part of the show. And we also got a new guest that's a part of the show. They're gonna spit some information as well. But this is connecting with the community. So first up, Charles, give us a little something about yourself.
You got Charlie, he in the streets, you know, giving back to the community. That's all, you know, keep it going.
Already. We're also gonna step into a little deficits about dealing with owning property. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you already know it's my guy, Remy, and I don't even want to say the word. But Remy Rim is back in the house. Been here since the beginning. Go ahead, my brother.
I have been here since the beginning, and I have successfully not accomplished any of the projects I set out with from the beginning. However, every day is a new day to do something great. I'm gonna keep trying to do that. It brought back the Animaniac, so I'm gonna start saying I'm trying to take over the world again. That's my thing.
Already.
Keep trying to take over the world.
Already. And that's a great thing. But one thing I want to say though, I feel like I can say this to you. If you ain't accomplished nothing great, but you accomplished something that's so great that gave you a chance, it's something greater than whatever any human being on earth to think of. Really.
Yeah. I apologize. I didn't mean to make it sound like I haven't accomplished any great things. There's been a bunch of great things. Just none of them has been the projects that I'm.
We'll talk about that later, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Other dope stuff that
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because like you told me in the video, you're like, there's some dope things that happen now. Hold on now.
Yeah, the theme song.
We ain't in the valley of fire.
The theme song of good times. There's a bunch of other bullshit that go, but in between everything is good times. So
already.
The good times.
And then we're gonna pass the mic to our guest. We're gonna let him. Oh no. We're gonna let you hear real quick.
They call me Ty. I'm just, you know, average guy, you know, but I got a big insight in a lot of things. But take my steps lightly and far at the same time. Live by the motto, grind or die, you know.
Already. All right, we're finna jump off into it real quick. We got some we got a younger group in the crowd. We got nothing but ladies. And so we're gonna touch some basics about the community. I want you ladies to respond and also ask questions. Put the men on this panel under the pressure that you can give coming from a woman. So we can be able to respond so we can relate to the younger group that's sitting in here. They'll be coming on next with a solution and true evolution individuals that will speak about whatever the case we're speaking about tonight. But I'm gonna start it off right now. I'm gonna roll over. I'm gonna let my brother Kill be. Hold on, we got a lady in the audience. I already got a question, so you already know what it is. It's heated tonight. Go ahead, ma'am. It's on you.
Okay, so you got a panel of fellas up there tonight.
Yes, ma'am. You heard him. Say it again.
Bro, big dog status.
Oh, I didn't hear you say
Bro, hey.
Oh, you gotta be barking now. Go ahead.
Hey, don't do me like that.
You gotta bark now. We're barking around here now. Go ahead, Miss Lady.
You said that, I'm just going off the topic.
Go ahead, Miss
The
Lady.
topic says the community, you got, you'll be talking about, connecting with members from the community. And, you said you was gonna explain about what you were saying last week. You wanna clear that up first?
I agree. I did.
You
say
got a
that.
lot of comments about that. I mean, clear that
Yes.
up.
Yes. Let me clear this. Let me start from the beginning and then we'll dive off of that. And since you said that, that is true. Let me clear something up. A church, I want the humans to know it is a building. I am not attacking the building. But I understand the church is within you. So I'm not actually attacking you. Only thing I am saying that I know if you study deeply and understand clearly in our community, without the church, we'll be dead. Now that we understand that and understand that church was a school base of understanding and knowledge of who you are and where you come from. This is in the church that look like you and I. So what I'm saying is, I apologize to any individual. I'm finna get with you right now, man. To any individual that think that I disrespect or was trying to attack the church, I apologize. It's not an attack on the church. It's an understanding that we have to learn. And I want to shoot this out quietly. If you look at the AME and you go back to David George, if you go into these areas and understand Catholic, and we ain't gonna discuss that too heavy. That's just a little something for you to think about, something to you to evaluate, something you for research, something for you to understand. And I apologize for my soul, not my heart, my soul. No disrespect to no church, because I am a body of church. Church is within the body. The building is where we go. And we'll go on with the show.
All right.
But connecting with the community, I want these ladies tonight to demonstrate something that the average community don't have. We ain't talking about going to the city hall. We ain't talking about going now to the building. We are talking about dealing with one another right here at this time, in this hour. We are talking about sisters who have an education, sisters who well defined in the truth, sisters who understand the difference from hurt and love and appreciation and just the whole understanding about the whole realm of everything. So they're gonna say some things to us and we're gonna respond to them. And I want you all to know, or if you have a question or you have any advice or anything to say, please let us know. And I'm gonna start off first with this here. Why are we so disconnected? Do anyone want to answer that question?
Who's we? Yeah.
Dealing with
That shit
people
was
that
shot.
look like you and I.
That's so wrong.
And when you say disconnected, you mean disconnected from the community,
The youth.
the
Or
youth,
each other, or
each other.
man and woman. Dad, you need to break that down.
Yes, I am.
Pay attention.
Yes, I am. I am paying attention. The thing is, when you have great advisors, when you speak, the advisor will notify you right then.
Okay.
The advisor notified me and said, the question you ask is what is the solution for the community? I am here.
I speak.
Okay.
So that's the question. Now that I asked that, and then since you said that, I must ask myself. Go ahead, my sister. I see you really want to say something.
I was thinking about what you're saying.
But go ahead.
Well, since you said, the revised question is, what is the solution? I guess I'll ask the question to the panel.
Okay.
Since, in our culture, I say we have some men who are still on that narrative, not saying wrongfully so or rightfully so. I'm just saying this is a community of men that exists within our community that have the narrative that men should lead their families. And, the community starts with family. So you as a panel of men, what do you think men can do to better lead their families today?
Okay.
Who want to answer that?
Okay. You want to answer that?
I got to trigger out the first question because you asked the question with a question. Okay. You asked, what can we do to bring the connection back in the community?
Right.
And everybody had a little opinion. I feel like what we can do in the community is bring the connection back to the generation, is be more involved. I feel like the system back then, such as the homes built, families are led by mothers, weak structure, not calling women weak, but it takes a village to raise a child, so I feel like back then in the system how they did us black men, locked us up off of anything, so really wasn't that many black men in the homes to guide them kids. Like in the streets, they try to say it's OGs versus young guys. The way I look at things is it was so many older guys locked up speaking as fathers, so when the kids grew up, by the time the kids were about 16, 17, 18, their fathers were about to get out or their fathers died in prison. So it was no guidance there, or they would talk to their father through a jail cell phone. So I feel like the connection where it became weak was the system breaking down the homes in the black community. And we feeling guilty to allow that to happen to us, where fathers go away and be locked up, where kids have to be raised under the mother, and women have to be strong women. And that's why I give the big salute to women, because women play a big part, and the part that they don't have to play, just because they have a child by themselves don't mean they have to raise it by themselves. So I give a big salute to women, because women go through a lot of stuff raising kids. So where they have to play mother and father. So where a kid don't get to learn everything a man teaches him, he has to learn what his mother teaches him. His mother probably worked 2 jobs, coming up. A mother has to work a lot, so she don't really have time to teach her kids. So she probably had to have somebody watch her kid. But just to let you know how the connection became weak, to build a connection with the solution is get back involved. I feel like the society really beat down black men for us trying, and when they beat us down, it's like, okay. But then when they see us try to come back up, they try to lose. They're trying as a black man, but the system is like made for them to beat us down, like to look bad on us,
Right. I agree. I understand. Do anybody else have anything they want to input on that? Go ahead, my brother. We got my brother Remy. He finna have an
You want to answer
input.
the question in the audience.
I am. Yeah, I'm answering the question in the audience as far as like what we could do as black men, or at least what my humble opinion is that we could do as black men. Or men in general, you know what I'm saying? Men in general, but specifically black men, our community. Acknowledge that we are hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody hurt. And a lot of folks walking around like they not. And it's fucking up the groove, man. Like, for real. It's the cause of a lot of strife.
I don't feel like
and
they
I
ain't hurt.
if we could just get through that pain that we all deal with as men, with each other. We don't even have to involve anyone else, just with each other. And we start working together and better loving one another, we could properly love our women and they could probably love our children along with us. And we could raise a generation that's a little bit less hurt than us.
Okay.
And that would help the community. Like, I mean, that's the root to a lot of stuff, because you can put a lot of money in a lot of people's hands, but hurt people gonna always hurt people, man. Like it's not a whole lot you can do.
Right.
There's
Okay.
not a whole lot you can do, in my opinion.
I'm not trying to say nothing. I'm just
Hold on. Okay, you want to speak? We got a
I'll
lady on
respond to
the-
that too.
Okay, you want to respond to
I
that?
just had to
We got a
say
lady,
that.
okay. We got two ladies want to
I
respond.
think y'all should respond.
Yeah, we need to-
Okay, we'll let you, go ahead, my brother, 'cause Charles will get a chance. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, the question was, what's the solution?
Okay.
So I feel like the solution is to, recognize first the Black woman as the goddess of this earth, which she is. How do we do that? We have to keep, as men, Black men specifically, Black men, because we always look out for our Black goddesses, queens, emperors, princesses, all that. We have to keep them elevated at a level where they can receive those signals from the higher powers, because they are the leaders of this world. So where can we start today? The simple things, first off, let's say cleanliness is next to godliness. So those simple things, I got this from Kill. Kill's like, she gonna say something, just go and wash those dishes. Go and wash those dishes so she don't gotta worry about it. Go and sweep the floor, wipe the walls down, and let's show our kids how to clean. So then we can move outside the house, because it always starts at home. And then you move into the community. And that's where you start to reach out and, you start to teach the young ones how you're supposed to live. And once we get our head wrapped around cleanliness, then we can start to rebuild our communities, and we can start to put things into place that we want to see. I want my kids to go to a school where it's all Black teachers. Okay, I want them to learn from people that look like them, who believe what they believe, believe what I believe. I want them to eat the things from the earth and not from a factory or something out of a tube that was genetically modified. So once we can clean up around us, then we'll have a clear vision, a canvas, and we can paint our own picture for the future.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
That's,
that.
I like that. Give a round of applause for Charles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You want to add anything to that, brother?
Yeah, let me say something on that.
Go ahead, my brother.
My insight on it is, like you say, it's a clear vision that you have to have. At the same time, is like a bigger picture that comes with it, because in the whole area, the whole pandemic we're in, you know what I mean,
Right.
with the COVID and everything, it's like everybody is trying to do one thing or trying to do certain things. So if you can manage to, start where people who automatically do things, just from, how can I say this?
Go ahead, my brother. Take your
Just
time.
from
Take your time.
social media or hype, you know what I mean?
Right.
Wave riding, I guess. And, if they could believe it, you know what I'm saying, then they'll do it. But it's more as into, like, with the community wise, is deeper, and it's a bigger target, where in the same time it's like many missiles, you know what I mean?
Right.
At the same time. So with that being said, like it's a topic to touch on for real.
Right. We most definitely need to touch on it, especially as men.
It starts with the men,
Right.
because it's not that many out there.
Okay.
Let alone we got women standing up as, bigger pictures for the Black community, because that's all we have.
Right.
And then you have younger Black, kids that's in high school, coming straight out of high school,
Right.
diplomas and GEDs, degrees and all that.
Right.
But it's not just being person that stands out, but you have to have empire to build on, you know.
Right.
So if it's stretched out in a certain community, like the difference between white and black, it is a stereotype of how we live.
I agree. Now, go ahead, Miss Lad. I know you had something you wanted to say.
I feel like the solution is really vulnerability. We just have to be vulnerable with each other, you know, and we're not vulnerable with each other. And a lot of Black men aren't allowed to be vulnerable. You know, society doesn't allow it. The world, you know. So I feel like getting to a place where Black men are comfortable with being vulnerable with themselves and each other, and allow them to be vulnerable with us.
Okay.
A follow-up question to piggyback off of what she said, so the panel, I guess, can. What's vulnerability? Yeah, I would say, what can the women in your community, so Black women, do to make you feel more comfortable to be vulnerable? What's vulnerability to you? Like what it looks like? What does it look like? Yeah.
Being more involved, you know.
Being more involved.
Listen, I'm just saying, listen. Like, y'all know how to say it. They say women are always the smartest. Women lead things. Y'all understand. Y'all jewels. Y'all set the example. Y'all know women go out, men come out. Come on now.
What does vulnerability look like to you? Do you know? Do you?
Right.
I mean,
Like
do you even use that word in your vocabulary?
Oh Lord.
Okay, so to give
chest.
it another context, what does it look like to share a part of you with somebody else that's not sexual?
I can. Oh, go ahead.
Lord Jesus.
Take it away, Charles. Come on, Charles.
Sure, they're trying to say
Please.
Okay. Hey, look here. I'm gonna say a free.
JJ, I had to put my glasses on. Lord Jesus.
Oh,
We can go there tonight.
right. You see those questions that they're asking. When they finally get through, when everybody say, I'm actually gonna answer those questions.
Okay.
But what I wanted to say before we go there, because this is good conversation.
Right.
But before I go there, I want to be able to give an understanding of something.
Go ahead.
In order to do any of these things, you know what I'm saying, we must understand who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And a woman have to know her position. And a man have to know his position.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now you can't be all man in right, but in that position. You know, that don't work. But I just wanted to break off something just dealing with the community because we did go to no, we're gonna get listen.
Skip over that.
No, we ain't gonna skip over. No, listen. We ain't gonna skip over.
They want us to describe a word that they be comfortable with.
No.
Y'all females be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
I don't be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? It's female trait. You know what I'm saying?
No, listen.
Female trait.
No, hold on. I want y'all to listen to something though. Listen. No.
Man had that trait, but man don't be stuck being vulnerable.
What you call
females be more vulnerable than men. Like,
no, hold on, listen to me for a second. I wanna bring Kill Bill. I wanna bring this here part out first.
I ain't even want to come like this.
No, I wanna bring this part out first. Dealing with the connection with the community.
My brother.
But I also want to be able to bring out this conversation that we are having. Because this conversation brings about understanding of male and female.
Clarification.
Woman and man. But I also want to ask this here quickly. And we're going to go through this here quickly. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about the disconnection in the community. First of all, we all have to get under law. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn who we are. Now, we want to shift to the community real quick. I could go deeper into that, but I know what I'm saying. We're going to get on the other subject that we was talking about, so I ain't going to waste no time. I'm going to hit some quick points, and I'm going to bring this up. It's very important. If you don't know who you are, that means that you can't even control nothing in your community, not even yourself. Because you don't know who you are, number one. And number two, if you're seeking anything outside of you, you have confused yourself with the mind, mental, and spirit. So you have to realize that. That's very important. And I'm going to skip down real quickly. To be anything great and successful in your own soul of finding and defining who you are and that you are the true creation. This not even on paper, this straight off the dome. But I'm just giving it to you because I'm going to bring something back to the paper to you real quick now. Just dealing as an American, not an African American, just an American. You must erase, suppress, kick to the side. They're my words, but I'm going to bring it around to you real quickly. The Willie Lynch syndrome, to have you looking at you and I from a Western education of an understanding of a slangulation of trigonometry of words of politics will suppress you in the mind frame that I'm better than women. And that is a sad part of living. You know what I'm saying? That's just real quick. You know what I'm saying? But we would dive into that later. We'll get to the laws and bring back some things that edify that. I said, I looked to the east. I seen Brother Black Paul. And I said, I looked to the side of it. When I thought I was trapped in the desert, you know, that ain't on paper, that's just the mind frame. You know what I'm saying? When I was trapped in the desert. But what was next to me, well, Brother Big Ben, I can answer the question, which question you want to ask. We're going to go to that as well. There was just something I want to give to you just deeply to make you think about something that's more deeper than your peers and beyond your eyes can see. I want you to sleep within yourself and wake up within yourself so you can be able to see outside yourself. So therefore, we can communicate about anything you would like to communicate about because we are living within ourselves. We can respond to one another in that spiritual. Let's finish this conversation. Now go ahead.
What does vulnerability mean?
Okay, take it.
Take it, Remy. Come on.
She didn't ask what it means. She asked what it looks like to you.
And it could be in a
What it
couple
looks
words.
like.
Right.
All right.
What it means to you.
So I enjoyed the first question. What does vulnerability mean to you? Because that's such a pregnant statement. Like it's like, what does it mean to you? I don't know. How important is vulnerability to you?
How do we look?
What's the definition? No. What's the definition of vulnerability to you? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple different ways you look at it. All right. So to answer both of those, for me, as far as what does vulnerability mean to me, as in how important it is, vulnerability is very important to me. Because for me, vulnerability just means openness. Like even in security, if your perimeter is vulnerable, it's because there's a weak spot. It's open. You know what I'm saying? Like it's openness in relationships. You're vulnerable because you're open. And what I feel women could do to help men, even though it's really like just us just having to be more comfortable with shit. But what women could do, I guess, is the same thing society in general could do, is to get over that biological desire to judge and ostracize people because of something you find different or repugnant, awful, whatever you want to call it, negative. It helped back when, like, you know, that person had a disease. So, you know, obviously his arm's falling off. I don't want him around us. Get out of here. But like now people could have COVID and look normal and healthy as fuck. So you literally can't tell. Allowing people in general to be more open and getting over that biological need to ostracize the different. That's like paramount, and I feel, in helping anybody be vulnerable. You know, we need to be more open with ourselves, man. We lie to ourselves all the time, man. We gotta be honest with ourselves.
Let y'all know.
Charles, you want to answer?
I can answer that.
What,
Okay, what does vulnerability look like to me? Starts with communication. Can we communicate? Can we have a conversation? Can we be truthful in our conversations and allow each other to see, you know, the soul, the depth of our souls, without judgment, like Remy said. You know, and that's really pretty much what vulnerability looks like to me. So
Sadly enough, it hurts. One thing about
Jax, what does it look like to you?
and that's the sad part about this whole situation. Because when you're dealing in a realm that I deal in, it's very difficult. By me being a solid man that walk on earth, and what I have been through, I can't see
You can't see what?
vulnerability. But by me being let me break it down to you. If you pay attention.
I'm talking to the ladies out here. We
The ladies hear me in the beginning. It's the finish what edifies the truth. Because you can't see in the beginning unless you before my time. And what I mean is where I come from. A vulnerability, whatever you want to call it, is excuse my language. Excuse my language, but it's a no exception. We ain't vulnerable to nothing. Everything 100. You take that around the corner.
So what is vulnerability?
But hold on, listen. You know what it means to me? As a man and learning and becoming better.
No, I'm saying like when you hear that word, what
Listen,
like,
you know what it means to me? It means real deep. Listen. No. Listen, I can his feelings. He vulnerable. No, listen. It is to understand the emotions of a woman.
what about it's really to understand the emotions of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You already understand that. What make you not vulnerable to certain things because you already understand self. So you're not going to be vulnerable to anything that's foolish. You're only vulnerable to anything that's truth. They're going to move the inner you. Now, you're vulnerable to anything outside that you're a fool anyway. That means you ain't had no structure, no teaching, no guidance.
Okay.
But when you are vulnerable to the truth, it'll bring you up like a tree, something solid. The roots cannot be cut down. The limb will blossom regardless. Mm-hmm. But when you vulnerable to anything foolish, anything behind you will perish like the dead leaves that fall off the tree. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, so we got 3 meanings. The first meaning is acceptable to physical or emotional attack or harm. That is not related to what y'all was talking about. The second meaning of partnership, which y'all was talking about. Liable to higher penalties, either by convention or through having won a game toward a rebel.
Honestly, I was talking about the first one. Because to be vulnerable is to be in a space where you do allow someone to take what you're sharing with them. Letting somebody know something about you that's secret or private that you don't share with somebody.
Right.
By letting
and
them
they
in.
can take it and,
By letting them
say
in.
it back, or say something harmful. That is allowing someone to harm you. So that's why certain people, like, if y'all trust it, like, nah, I'm not telling you my business. No, I'm not going to share it with you because we don't rock like that. So when you are vulnerable, it does allow someone to possibly use that against you.
I would just like to say, I don't think it's a question. I'm not sure if anybody would respond to it. But I think that the reason why maybe on the men's side is sort of iffy or 50-50 about what vulnerability is. And to us, as women, it's more of a sure thing what it means. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's because of the difference in the ways that we take accountability as the, two genders, I would say. You know, being in relationships and communicating when confronting, a partner about a wrongdoing or triggering you,
Which is exposed.
right.
Which
When
is exposed.
when you
That's what
confront,
it is.
right, you feel exposed. You're not
Right.
exposing somebody. You're really just letting someone
Right.
who's supposed to love
Right.
you
That's
know what your love
And
language
guess what
is.
they call? Guess
Right.
what this is called? Milk.
Milk.
It's called milk. Because you know why? The deeper how we feel as individuals deep inside and what we experience from the word of action that had took place in our life dealing with this here make us have different understandings and opinions.
Right. So
You know what I'm saying?
I
But
was trying to say that
But-
the difference is when we take accountability for when we feel exposed, because when somebody is telling you, how they want to be talked to or what you did to bother them, a gap in the community or a gap in those type of conversations is one, how you confronted the person, and
Right.
two, how that person feels about what you just exposed about them, or the limelight that you put
right,
on them. Some people
Right.
feel attacked,
Right.
once you confront them about something that made you feel a certain type of way. And I feel like that's something that we have to get over. And that's how we've gotten so far into this cancel culture, into,
Right.
not letting each other have difference of opinions and things
Right.
like that, because we feel so touched and hurt by limelights being showed on our things we like to keep in the dark, our, fallacies,
Yeah.
basically.
right. And the reason why now I love that, sis. Let me give y'all something raw right quick. Y'all forget my thought I have my ball cap on. I'll move my head to the side.
Oh, wow.
I heard you there. But the reason why this is a very deep and tough and touchy topic is because and I'm listening to everything that's being said, and we have to look at this here. One thing for sure, you can be vulnerable to stupidity. You can be vulnerable to a foolish act or delusion of something that you inherit that misled you. I want y'all to remember this here. I am vulnerable to anything that can increase my inner being.
Okay,
There's nothing else you should be vulnerable to.
okay.
Because the reason why is this here. I respect what you were saying, and this is where we fall short.
Can a woman do that?
No,
though?
listen,
A woman
listen.
increase your inner
Listen.
self, and
The
you
reason
can
why
be
I use the word, the reason why I use it the way I use it, I'm gonna bring it back around to you real quick. The reason why I said is understanding the woman emotion, cause a woman is vulnerable. But she could be under the mad distress, but the right reliever will put her in a vulnerable situation to misjudge. No, that's truth.
No.
A woman can be under distress.
Share a conversation.
I'm gonna share it with the world.
Share a conversation.
The woman can be under distress.
Audience have a question. The
Okay,
panel
go ahead.
have a question.
No, keep going. No, you keep going.
Listen. A woman can be under distress,
I'm following you.
and she can come across something that's like a dove, very pleasant, and put her in a vulnerable situation to expose something that was viable to carry the seed to the next destination. But this individual that was very pleasant like the dove deceived her because she was vulnerable. But not saying nothing bad about the woman. What I'm saying is the disconnection is we have not become vulnerable enough to understand the emotions and reasons of sad sight, because I got to deal. I got to deal.
So you're saying men haven't become vulnerable enough to understand women's
Emotions, to understand this one, to be able to get on the level so we can, excuse me, we can stand up. We can make that move. See,
I get what you're saying.
see, when the man stand up, the woman always,
Yes.
she don't have to stand up. And when she do, you already know what's going on, don't you?
She right.
You know what's finna happen, don't you? But until we get on the law, find out our role, our position,
Okay. I actually agree with what you're saying.
and be vulnerable enough
Man.
to accept that at the end of the day, you ain't gonna look at women. You're gonna look over and see what you produce. We gotta get there.
Yeah.
We got to get there.
You're saying, to be clear, the man understanding emotions will help them better understand how to connect with women.
Because you know why?
In turn, when a man stands up, because he understands her emotions, you're saying that, she, like you said, she'll sit down. And she knows,
No, what I
understand her
mean-
role.
Right, right. She understand her role,
Yeah.
but she always see the woman right there.
Mhm.
The woman, what makes peace for the man to be able to operate.
Mhm.
So now, if he get the peace
Mhm.
to operate from
Uh-huh.
that woman,
Uh-huh.
that means that woman is producing something that's fueling him
Uh-huh.
Right.
to have that type of peace,
Uh-huh.
to be able to get up and stand in front of a million soldiers.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
only thing the man do outside of that is talk to his advisor.
So you're saying a woman is more comfortable in her role and at peace when she feels well represented
Yeah.
by.
If a man disturbed,
Right.
if a man out of order,
Mhm.
who do he go to as a toddler, a child, or an adult? He go to his mother. And when he ready for battle, in discipline and soldierism, who do he go to? He started his mother and she goes to his father. We have to get in position and understand the role of the teaching of the black woman and the teaching of the black man.
I agree.
And that's the only way. We have to go to law. And like I say, it's sad because I hate to preach a message that's still on me. Now I gotta fight Lil J now. Now I'm into it with Lil J. Messing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't preach a message without checking yourself.
Okay.
What man preach a message don't check himself? You telling me to tell you to take a shower. You take a shower, and I done shitted on myself 5 days and want the folks to come in here to clean it up. What they do that at? That's what we doing now, shitting on ourselves in our community and want them to come clean it up. And now we protesting about it. Legit, don't shit over there. It's a toilet around the corner. Tissue there, sanitize, sink, water running, take care of your business. But instead, I'm going to shit right there and say, Kill ain't got about shit. Come on now.
Okay.
We got to get to that point. And that's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, when you define the truth gonna let you know. You're like, we'll talk about the Bible, we hate the Bible, fuck the Bible, all this and that. But if you go through it, it gonna show you who you are.
You got some truth there.
It gonna show you where you come from. Then you gonna look at them and say, oh man, no. I got this. And then I know from what y'all young brothers and sisters that be coming on next speaking about, what problem is it? He gave you common sense. What's the problem? The problem is we want to bebop and ask them to do something. Go ahead, Miss Lady.
No, I was just, we get a close out message.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I apologize. They had put Lil J in the line then, but I got some some real lions up here too. They gonna speak as well. We're gonna start from this end. Brother, you close out.
Final thoughts.
My thoughts on this is, I could say this is the major problem that we have going on. And as playing your role, you know what I'm saying, to better understand each other. It's male and female have to be a capital, period.
Right.
And it's a plus because we're black. So with that being said, I feel like it's a couple of things that it needs to happen in order for that picture to be seen. It's a crazy generation growing up, and it's a mix up that people got to raise. So it's gonna be a messed up future, I guess.
You next. Let's get it. Close us out. Give us a quick close out.
I got faith in the future. I've met the future. The future seems cool. I believe in the future. Other than that, I would like to just leave. I would just like to leave one thing outside of that. I legit thought we was gonna talk about like really dope bars, like really cool lines and songs and television movies and stuff. That's what I was suggesting earlier. So I just would like to mention that when Jay-Z says you on the gram holding money to your ear, there's a disconnect. We don't call that money over here. That is a really dope line. Like Jay-Z has consistently been dropping gems like that. Every album, like I'm just saying, it's not just Jay-Z. There's a lot of stuff. Like I suggested, I will say this: they allowed to open this song to be "Knocking on Heaven's Door," which is another song I feel like it's not even like dope wordplay. It's just the vision. You know what I'm saying? The imagery, knocking on heaven's door. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like I'm impressed by things like that, man. Like this chick once asked me what my kink is. I told her I'm really into wordplay.
Already. Y'all heard it from my guy Ram. Before we close up, want to give us a quick piece.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Just focus on yourself. Everything outside of yourself is irrelevant at this point in time. Just continue to grow truth, happiness, and wellness.
Peace and love.
All right, sis.
Final thoughts. I ain't gonna say too much. I learned a lot today from the show today. Shout out to the audience. I feel like the woman had a lot of input. Great question, great response. Shout out to everybody on the show today. Know what I mean? Kill Bill.
We're gonna close up. It was a great show. I appreciate everybody who's watching, who was responding, saying what they were saying. Before I go though, I wanna say something real quick. I think that number one, we need to start our own trading system. I'm gonna be pushing that as well, not dealing with foreign designers. But we need to come together to invest in factories and merchandise, so we don't have to go to any foreign country for any product. Not no food, no clothing, no nothing. We want to disconnect ourselves from an economy that's booming and put you in a situation that they will call the slums and the ghetto in the United States of America. We want to build our own economy. And that's what we focus on. In order to do that, we need to break first off on the food chain. Just like they slaughter all the food and starved you for years, we'll start producing our own food that'll last centuries. May the higher power bless you all. Thank you.